I love my little fishes as they swim about their home. I love my little fishes as they swim about their home. When the sunlight shines upon them and their colors begin to glow, I am drawn into a world where my heart longs to go. I imagine scenes of beauty and feel the warmth of love. I love my little fishes as they swim about their home. I have traveled the world over, but never found the peace that comes from watching my fishes as they swim about their home. My heart is happy and I am content to sit and watch them swim. I will not be alone while these fishies are in my home. When the sunlight shines upon them and their colors begin to glow, I am drawn into a world where my heart longs to go. I imagine scenes of beauty and feel the warmth of love. I love my little fishes as they swim about their home.
Well, Heidi.
Hey, Father Fish, how's it going?
Hey, Dina, how are you?
Still got the flu, voice is in and out, but better than what I was, so.
Glad to hear. Nice to have you with us.
Thank you, nice to meet
And
you.
hello, everyone. It's a new year and a whole new approach to life.
That's it.
Let's hope so. Turning the page.
Yep.
Good to be with everybody. Hey there. Let's see, is this going to shut down? It may or may not.
I think so. I think it did.
It did, right. G-Man! Who is this? Buick is here. Buick KPP 78. Neil Vince. Hi, Neil. Much people here I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah, we got a lot of people in
Really?
tonight.
What do we have? What do we got so far? We're at 40 some, nearly 50. Fonta. Let's see, Fonta. I'm not sure if Fonta has a wrench.
Nope, not yet.
We need to take care of that right quick here.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh. See how quick you can get it up. Charles Fitzgerald. Hello, Charles. Still red. NC is here. Hey, NC. Ray's Fish Room. Let's see.
Oh, and Pamela, she needs a wrench too. She's new.
Let's see if she's. Where is she? She's on yours. Oh no, Paula. You mean Paula? Who?
Yep, Paula.
Paula Cunningham. Right. All right, we can do that. Ryan Tongue Light Cap. Alpha Pisces. Lori. Happy New Year to you, Pisces.
Yeah, Happy New Year's, guys.
Oh, Juana's got a wrench.
Awesome.
Yeah, check out the ebook, guys. If you have not yet purchased the ebook, be sure to do so. This is a tool that will be with you from here forward. It'll be it will easily become the major tool in your hobby, surpassing really anything else It will be a consolidated, it already is, a consolidated resource for all information that is available about the Natural Aquarium. There simply is no other source that even comes close to matching what this what this book does. Now, there's been some question about it being printed in in uh, in print and hardback or paperback. That will happen, but I'm here to tell you it's not going to be as valuable as the ebook because the ebook will give you access to continuing a continuing barrage of lists. As new research is developed, it'll be incorporated. So it becomes more than a book. It's really an encyclopedia, a source of all information that is available about maintaining, setting up and maintaining and understanding the natural aquarium. So do be sure to get yours and to get into it. We've got some folks here who have done so and are loving it.
And I love that with the book, when it's ebook format, all you have to do is just click on the link directly in your phone or on your computer, and it'll go to the external links that shows more resources. And I actually explain in more detail what the book's really about with scientific studies, which is pretty cool.
Bob S. says we sound funny. Well,
I know I sound funny with the flu.
I don't know. Rogerio Lima. Bon nuit. Father Fish and Dina here too. Love you all. Love you, Rogerio.
Love you.
So, God first. Happy New Year's. Ava Sports Cards. How do you maintain your aquariums? Gee, hey, Bobby. Oh dear. The best way to answer that question is to ask you to purchase the book that's described here at our website. Post the link to the website.
Oh, yeah.
At our store. That explains everything about how to maintain a natural aquarium. While it is a very simple thing to set up and do, it is as complex as nature itself because it is nature itself. Somebody made the comment, oh, you can't have nature in an aquarium. How can you do that? To which I said, if you don't have nature in your aquarium, what precisely do you have in your aquarium? I mean, it cannot even be open space because that is natural.
Right.
Is there anything in nature that is not natural?
I don't think so.
So you might respond by saying, well, then, I can pour gravel in a tank and put water and fish in it, hook up $10,000 worth of equipment, and it'll be perfectly natural. To which I will say, yeah, you could do that. That's true. And it'll be perfectly natural. That's true. It just won't be what's happening outside your door in the local creek. And that's what we're trying to replicate. the process that makes that environment is what we want to establish in our aquarium. It's not simply making things look a certain way, it's making things function in a certain way. And that certain way involves all of the botanicals and the chemicals and the materials. We did a piece in the new newsletter, which should be out today. I don't know if it's been published today or not. I did not see it.
Yeah, I haven't heard from Ryan yet.
It's not been put up yet, I don't think. I know he's got it done. Let's see. No, I don't see it. He may not be away. Here's an article I did.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can. I'm going to make this a little bigger if we can. And then I'll try to bring it up.
That'd be cool.
I think I can do this. What happened? What happened? Oh, I killed the link. All right, let me get rid of this. And I think, let me try. Share screen, that should be it. Yeah, here we go.
Oh, cool.
I have an article in every issue of the newsletter. In this issue, they made me a Viking.
I love it.
So I did a piece that explains the aquarium in Viking terms, meaning that the Vikings believed there were three elements: air, earth, and water. So I talk about what the air is in your aquarium, what the water is, and what the earth is. So the earth is the glass and the substrate. The water is, well, the water. And the air is what's on top of the water. And that all kind of works together. If you think of the aquarium that way, it gives you a pretty good sense of what the dominant components or characteristics of the tank are. And then at the end, I discussed the kingdoms that live in that environment. And they are the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, the bacteria kingdom, the fungal kingdom, those four kingdoms. And then there are some others out there that are just kind of fantasy kingdoms. And we know they're there. Well, but we don't know a whole lot about them. But these four, plants, animals, bacteria, and fungus. The aquarium must have all four. We don't think about fungus in our aquarium, but without fungus, nothing breaks down. Bacteria and fungus work together to break down material. Bacteria breaks it down by killing off whatever cells are left. Fungus then takes over and breaks down the dead material. Bacteria doesn't break down dead material. It leaves it as its waste product. Fungus then breaks down that dead material. That's what mushrooms are doing. They're breaking down dead plant life, like rotted trees. So if you have fungus in your aquarium, you know that bacteria have been there because they've broken it down to the point where the fungus are able to take over and do their job.
That is really fascinating.
Let's see if I can get it. So there's the article. It'll be, I don't know, page 2 or 3 or something of the new newsletter, which will be out shortly, probably by the end of the day. Tauger, Tauger. I don't know how to say his name. Sun and Moon is here. Kimco Super 9 Polar Bear. These sports cards currently keep a 40-gallon with light plants and sand on top, with mostly small tetras and honeycomb. Nice collection. And Daniel says it's wonderful to see everyone for the first time in 2025. Yeah, this really does need. It needs to be a year of renewal, a year of change,
That it does.
a year of rebirth. We have the promise of all of that available to us. those who want to fight against it out of some sense of wanting to hold on to some sense of wanting to hold on to some political advantage, or missing out on the deeper truths and the deeper meaning of life, which is not to be in conflict. It is not our goal to be in conflict, but to be in harmony. Now, there are two ways to achieve harmony. You can achieve harmony by force, or you can achieve harmony by freedom. We choose to achieve harmony by freedom, not by force. So breaking down the powers that seek to control becomes a really important part of that. And we've come to a place in our nation and in our world where authoritarian powers have come to a place where those holding that authority believe themselves equal to gods, believe themselves capable of and responsible for controlling others, for determining what others can and cannot do. Now, we have laws, and I'm not talking about laws. I'm not talking about laws that punish people for injuring others, for stealing, for killing, for hurting, for destroying, for taking advantage. But when authority seeks to control the words we use and the thoughts we have, that is a whole other order. And frankly, those are not privileges, but rights given to us by our Creator and are not to be abridged, not by any human authority. So those human authorities who believe it is their role to control what we think, or for that matter, those individuals want to shut you down because you think things different than what they think. That's a tyrannical use of force that is from the source that which is demonic. It is an evil. And it is an evil that must be rooted out, root and branch, rooted out of our society. There is no place in a free society for thought control or for the control of what we say. And again, there are laws that protect certain kinds of speech and other laws that constrain certain kinds of speech. And the difference is obvious. Saying, I will, we can't use the M word, can we? on YouTube.
No.
That's a perfect example. A perfect example. This very platform we're on right now imposes a tyrannical censorship that prevents us from using certain language if we want to stay here. Now, ultimately, the breakdown of that tyranny, the end of that tyranny comes when everyone simply abandons their obedience to that rule and that mentality and violates it directly. I'm not there yet, but I know folks who are, and it is rapidly coming to that. YouTube will abandon, Google will abandon this censorship when it becomes clear that it is causing their financial bottom line to be dramatically impacted in a very negative way. The day is coming, and they had best get themselves together and realize they are not God, and they have no right or authority under God or under our laws to do what they are doing. Too many people have been censored and shut down on this server for doing nothing more than speaking a political position. And it is an obscenity. It is a vile and vicious and destructive and evil obscenity that must be ended. And I'll leave it at that. See if that'll get me shut down.
I don't think it will, hopefully.
Well, it came right up to the line, but it didn't cross it. At least.
That's what I like about X. They don't have a line.
I know. Here's the thing. Google's AI makes these determinations. They're not made by human beings.
Yeah, it's not people.
They're an algorithm that does it. And the algorithm is blameless, impersonal, and intensely shallow. Intensely shallow. It is two-dimensional. There is no life in it. There is no heart in it, no soul to it. It is cold. It is austere. It is the essence of that which is vicious. It is utterly vicious and beyond reproach, beyond any kind of coming up against it and making any complaint against it.
Yeah.
Even those who work for Google will not oppose the AI. It is their God.
Right.
It really is. I mean, that really is literally true.
That's the best way I've heard that put, because everybody's trusting AI so much, but we created it, and if it can really think for itself, what's it going to do?
Well, of course it can't. It's not thoughtful. It has no thought, no ability to reason. It simply puts bits and pieces together. It's like a puzzle. It makes puzzles, or it makes pictures out of puzzle pieces. Makes pictures out of puzzle pieces. That's a pretty good description, actually. All of the data are puzzle pieces, and you pose a thesis to it, and it puts them all together. And if you put that in the context of passing judgment, then you're in serious trouble.
Right.
Because there's no evaluation in that process. There's no attempt to discern the flavor of a thing. It cannot determine color, taste, touch, sensibility, loving kindness, warmth, affection. It has none of that. It is cold, austere, and utterly two-dimensional. It is a knife blade that slices as thin as it can slice and will cut you in half if it determines you have crossed its preordained boundary.
Mm.
Complete insanity.
Yeah, and it's insane how much it's got where it's in control of different aspects of social media and even Amazon. Even Amazon has their little magic AI that you can't challenge.
Yeah, this is what's going to bring down big tech
Hmm.
because it will become too cumbersome and ponderous that it'll be impossible to even cope with it anymore. That's but there have been conversations about um, level phase three of interactive computer of this world we're in. Phase three simply means that those who are in it and using it or controlling it, and not some vast complex machine setting somewhere that's that's garnering massive, virtually infinite resources for a few oligarchs sitting at its pinnacle.
Hmm.
That all has to come to an end.
Yeah.
It is cumbersome to the point of being such a burden that's no longer tolerable. And frankly, we're working on it. I mean, we're working on it right here. A lot of other people are as well. But we're working on it right here. We're looking for ways to be able to reach a substantial number of people through means that are not controlled by the oligarchy that controls this platform. And we're going to get there. We're doing a lot of things to try to achieve that. There's been no breakthrough yet, but it clearly is coming.
Yeah, and it
Jacob
is.
Wright is here. Let's say hello to him. Hi, Jacob.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Hanging in there.
Good. S-
We're
So I
looking at
added,
Shank here.
so I, so I added a lot more leaf litter.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
good.
Yeah, they're loving that. And so like these twigs up here that I got, like so the clown loaches, they come out, hang on it, and play around on it. I guess cleaning it.
Oh, cool. Look at the branches. Wow, pretty cool.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna blow this up and see it.
Yeah, see, I honestly believe that's really truly why I do not have never had no issue because see, I give it bad bacteria, but see that bad bacteria is actually consumed up beneficially to my system. It works with everything. It benefits the fish. Then the
Right.
fish benefit my substrate, my soil down here. And then that supplement down here build up that whatever remains because see that's why it's this for almost 1 year I don't really have no buildup and that's because I allow full function of breakdown. The excess is this right here that you see, but the rest of it is actually going down and being used up like it needs to be. You should never have a lot of this at the very beginning. You should have a little bit, but not much. That means you're stopping something from occurring.
Yeah, that's nice, Jacob. You
Yeah,
are getting you are getting it. How's have you started on your new tank yet?
No, but you see all the bugs jumping now? Look at them back there.
Oh yeah.
You can see them. I got all kinds of them things back there. There they are. There they're jumping.
That they are.
Because see, I learned that resurrection jar, it's good to have that. It's good. See, that's a good response. See, that's a good response you want. That's a nice response that I got right there. I probably got about 70, 80 fish, probably near 100 fish. You just don't see them all.
Yeah,
Cuz
you
see,
should do.
I give
Yeah.
them I benefit them in all kinds of way with space, breeding, benefits the tank by bacteria, that bacteria's benefits to my fish, and then it benefits my good bacteria, the microfauna, microflora, all that. It does all that, and it gives it adequate space, for coverage too. Even my pleco actually comes out a really lot more. And can you believe it or not, but 15 Cory cats, two clown plecos, I mean two clown loaches, a bushy nose pleco, and a pleco, clown one, real short one, real tiny, probably about that big.
Uh,
Um, for some reason, they actually all get along in that pretty much little tiny, little tunnel that I made. But uh, I've seen that this jungle fowl seems to be really sturdy, even when fish get down here. When they get down here, it seems to, put basically like a barrier. So once this all grows up, this will pretty much, put a barrier right there. So it'll be no entrance basically right there,
right.
which is what you want. You only want some of it, not all of it.
Hey,
But,
Jacob,
yes,
Valerie wants to know what size tank is this?
55.
55. Cool.
Nice. All right.
Yeah, I, that's actually really good compared to where I used to be because I used to be with everybody, and it's really crazy that most people can't get this information. And this information is actually very useful to everybody, and it's really, honestly, really, really horrible. They can't provide this at any pet store. It's really horrible, and it's so easy for everybody to learn it this way. It is very easy, but sometimes it's very hard because of the way everybody else tries to show them. They get so much into it that you know then it's hard for them to see. But a lot of the things that needs to occur in this tank that's actually occurring for me is microscopic a lot, but I see the things that's happening. It'll show me in my substrate. It'll show it to me in my water a little bit. It'll show it to me everywhere. It'll show it to me on my fish. Everything is a working, honest. Everything works together. You just got to provide it and help it by giving it. You know, give it things that it will help guide it to break things down for you. Give it guidance. That's how you
Reason,
help it. You give it guidance. Give
Jacob,
it guidance beneficially
Jacob,
by
Jacob,
bacteria.
Jacob, Jacob.
Yeah.
The reason, the reason I bring you up here is because I remember the first time I met you and what your tank looked like and the struggle you were
It
having.
was
It
it
was
was horrible.
it was hard. It
It
was horrible. You had
it was
fish
horrible.
dying. You had it was an awful situation, and to see the development in a very short period of time, really a few months from that to this, I believe is remarkable. And
Yeah, it is.
I think that's why I keep bringing you back to show what can be done with a tank that is an utter failure with a few minor changes to make it something wonderful. And you do have a wonderful tank. Thanks, Jacob, for coming up. Cinnamon's here. Let's go see
Ab-
what Cinnamon wants to do. Bye.
Absolutely. Thank you all.
You
Thank
bet. Bye, Jacob.
Bye-bye.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello. Hi.
Cinnamon.
You can hear me okay, right?
Yes.
Okay. I think I figured out how to get rid of the echo by muting or pausing the other part, the main video on YouTube. So this here is my nano tank I've been working on. It's a 14 cube, and it's got, as you can see, a lot of endlers, a few guppies, smaller ones, and what are these? They glow from inside. They're still babies, but they're, I don't know if you can see them with the eyes that are
I
shiny.
can't really see them well.
And then we have the ended up getting for Corey's. I ended up getting the dwarf Corey's.
Mhm.
You can kind of see it on the side. Whoop, where'd he go?
The pygmies. Yeah.
Yeah. And one of my baby mollies got in here. I don't know how. Oh, here's one. This is the sparkling Grammies.
Yes.
Oh, those are beautiful.
Yeah. Most that I've got in here now are younger. And I'm working on, we had the thing glued down and then to the rocks, and then we had to put wire because it came floated to the top. So that was
Yeah.
a problem. The back head was heavier. It stayed down, but the front didn't. So it was kind of, so I've got to figure out ways to hide the wires, but
Hey, it looks beautiful though.
yeah, it's
You did a
coming
great
along.
job.
I like the hole where you can go all the way around it and
Oh,
see
yeah.
from the sides and
Nice.
basically. And then I had the 29.
Cool.
Now this one is one of my finds I got actually from, I think it was Petco. They made an oops on their sale. They had the half off sale.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then they took the computer for some reason, took half off the half off.
Oh my.
Oh, wow.
So I got this 29 and it has the top and everything for $40.
Oh,
Wow.
now that's a good
Yeah.
deal.
So I ended up getting two of them. I was like, I thought of more, but I was like, no, I better, not be greedy. And
Jump
so
on
I
that.
ended up with two of them. And this one I'm trying to doing a little different, kind of have like an abandoned temple type or
Yeah.
building of some kind, and a deer down there.
Huh.
I had gone, and right now I have just my sorority of betas, the girls. They're slowly getting used to each other.
I like the
Good.
tree.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
no bad, just a few chasing, no bites, no fins. They seem to be behaving in that manner. They seem to go after the cream colored ones then more than the others. It's kind of odd.
Yeah, I've noticed that with my beta sorority too. They seem to gang up on the more brightly colored ones. Not sure why though.
Yeah. And then I have 4 or 5, if I can find them. They're up in somewhere. They've been hiding since I moved them, but I have some pearl gouramis in here somewhere.
Cool.
They're kind of up in. Oh, there's one in the back.
Mhm.
You can see them. So I moved them over here because they were in with the Shelleys, but it was too crowded. They didn't have room to really swim or get, they seemed to be a little cramped. So I decided to give them more space. And the Shelleys needed, I'm sure here soon they're going to have babies. So I figured give them some room.
You got you got some shell dwellers in there.
Yeah, they're in the other tank, the Tanganyika tank that I have. I moved. Now, this one will be interesting to you, Father Fish, because this is my daughter's that you saw me at the class that she had gotten for free.
Right.
This is her tank. As you can see, she loves minions. So there's Bob.
That's cute.
But it's got a lot of baby guppies, a few endlers, and some mollies. And then one beautiful, if I can see where she is, there's a breeder up in the Poconos that is at some of our different swaps and stuff. Where did she go? Oh, here she is. This beautiful little girl here.
I
Oh,
love
yeah.
the colors.
Nice.
Named her Candy. The lady who breeds them does mostly the koi's, and they're just absolutely beautiful. And I've got a couple from her, and she just does a great job, and they're so healthy. And that's Candy. I couldn't have her in a sorority though. She kind of beat up some. I caught her before she got too rough, but she's one. I find koi sometimes are the quickest ones to get in a fight. And then this is my other daughter's. We just switched it over to your substrate. And she decorated it herself. I kind of tried to help her with plants, and we got a few things we got to fix that she had in there, like the pump there. We kind of put one of those bamboo type filters that kind of just runs off it like a little waterfall. I've been trying to switch over to some of those because I like them better. I can decide my own stuff to put in it, for filtering.
Right.
A little bit better. But those are those four. And like I said, I've been working on this one in particular. Has been the Shelleys. Hold on, let me take you over to the Shelleys because I know you guys like to see them. So hold on.
Sure.
You're going to have to see my mess. There we go. They got more room. I spread them out more.
Oh my.
And they still have the rock and the castle in the back, but there's one more of those bamboo things that has, or not the bamboo, the bonsai, and you can see it's growing the plants out of it too. So lots of plants.
Really cool.
Yeah, I like having the plants in here. I was a plant lady before I became a fish lady.
Same here.
But I took a filter out and put this more natural, waterfall more one, and then that gave them more room down here. And I kind of moved it around, but they've been acting like they're going to have babies here soon. So I'm hoping they're all definitely big enough. That's for sure.
How many pairs do you have in there?
How many what?
How many pairs? How many fish?
Oh, there's probably total. The ones I gave to my cousin, she brought back because she said they were bullying her fish. So I said, sure. So there's probably about 13 to 15, I think.
Wow. Okay.
So a little more than I wanted, but until I find somebody else that wants some of them, I basically am. That's why I also moved the filter and the other fish out because it made more room for them.
Yeah.
So in here is only them and one of those Julia Vegas, I think, or whatever those the rock dwellers are, has escaped me, a young one, and I still haven't been able to catch it. So
Cool.
once it does, then it will be up with the others, which I put, let's see. You can see I've got a whole rack going now. My husband put a rack in. He said, you might as well.
Really? Oh, that's great.
Love
So
it.
here's the Julies. So I moved them in here. And there was a lot less sand, but they proceeded to dig gigantic holes in the bottom of my rocks.
Right.
Right till you can see there's dirt here because I keep filling it back in. They get mad at me when I fill it back in. And they dug up some of my plants last time I did it, so I got to plant them back in there.
Now, a lot of these fish you have gotten from local clubs.
Yeah, they really are in excellent shape, and they all look nice and healthy, and they're having fun in here. I was worried at first it'd be a smaller area, but they really, because of the Shelleys, they really couldn't go over in that area anyways. Only a little bit, so, but they're having fun. Nobody seems to be wanting to spawn yet, but we'll see. The one dug a gigantic hole. I got to figure out who's male and who's female to begin with. I know there's some that are really yellow, and then there's others that aren't. So I'm assuming there's a mix in here. So they seem to tolerate each other. Nobody's majorly fighting. So, and you can see there's a little one that's not one of their babies. That's one that came later. That one and that one in the corner. And then the one that's hiding in the other tank. So, but that's the progression up here. So we're slowly are getting the tanks put on racks and trying to organize everything.
love it.
So
Great.
thank you
That
for
is great.
your. Have a good evening and a good year.
Gentlemen, Happy New Year.
Alrighty.
Bye for now. Let's see. Prodigious is here. There he is.
Hi guys.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you? Happy New Year's.
Happy New
Good.
Year.
Happy New Year.
That lady's tanks right now, they were really nice.
Yeah, they were.
That
Yeah.
last one was really nice. I like that one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So-
she does some mighty fine work. She has
Yes.
a lot of tanks too. She has about 14, 16 tanks.
Oh wow.
Yeah, a lot of.
I'll be there one day.
Yeah, you will.
Yeah, you will.
Let me
What are
see
you
if I
up to? Happy New Year.
Right now I'm getting dinner ready. But then after that, I think I'm gonna go to my friend's house. I don't know yet. I might just stay home.
Okay. What are you having for dinner?
Steak.
Oh, that's good.
Nice
Yeah.
for you.
I wanted to show you guys
Mhm.
this. So I clipped some of them, and I like because they were getting really tall. I thought
Yeah.
it looked kind of weird,
Mhm.
but I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, it's your tank. You got to make
It's
it look
just
the way
these
you
red
want
ones are not growing like how they were before.
it. I
I don't know what to do.
don't either. Have you been on Discord yet?
Yes, I'm on the Discord channel,
Okay.
and
If you
by
talk to
Grandma said
anyone
to leave it
about,
alone. So
yeah, well, that's usually the best advice.
okay,
Make sure it has enough light. It looks like it might be too dim.
That's what I was
yeah.
wondering too.
Really tell, but
This is only during the day it's like this because I leave the lamp on during the night.
oh, okay. What's in your substrate?
Um, the Father Fish soil,
Oh,
and
okay,
then
okay.
it was gravel before, so I kind of just threw the sand on top of the gravel, but now it's starting to come up. You see it?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
Nice.
I thought he was gonna come out, but he's not. My little bumblebee cat is usually in
Oh,
there. But I want to show you guys my loach. Oh no, he's gone. Well, that was my loach.
Yeah,
They're
trying to
fast.
get a loach on camera is hard,
Yeah, he's like the Flash.
right? That'd be a good name for him.
Actually, his name is Cisco, and the other one is like Yasop, I think.
That's cool.
funny.
Oh, I got the filter like you said. It works wonders.
Good.
Oh, good. The sponge, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks guys.
Looking good. Thank you.
Thank
Nice
you.
to
You guys
see you.
too.
Happy New Year.
Happy New
Nice to
Year.
see you too. Happy New Year's.
Bye for now.
Okay. Stay in the loop. Bye guys.
All right. Todd, you guys say your last name for me. We have a Todd, how do you say your last name?
Warziniak. Just like it's spelled there.
Warziniak. Warziniak. All right. How are you? Happy New Year.
I'm doing well. Happy New Year's, guys. I just wanted to come on and thank you for your videos and just inspiring me to keep fish again, because back in the old days when I started, I'm 45 now. Went with the old school under gravel filters. All my fish were dying. I lost interest in the hobby, and then stumbled onto your videos and figured I'd give it a try, and it's worked out amazingly so far. This was my first one I did, the Rasbora. I got some shrimp in there, fully planted. I do make my own compost, so when I saw your video, I was like, oh, this is great. I can use my own stuff in a fish tank.
Right. Nice.
So I did that one first, and obviously I got the itch, and then I went over to started another big one here with angelfish, and
What size tank is that?
this one is a 65.
Nice.
And then I also had this, this is a 20
20 long.
long, yep. It says a bunch of everything, a bunch of babies. First time I've ever had fish have babies. And I just wanted to top on and say I appreciate your videos and thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Todd. I like
Good
your
luck with
tank.
that.
Yep, thank you.
Happy
Thanks,
New
guys.
Year. You bet. Bye for now.
It looks like we got NC.
Yeah, we got NC.
Oh,
Let's see what NC is all about. What is this?
ANC.
A lot has
those
changed.
dragons?
I'll tell you that. A lot has changed.
I think it's a dragon.
A lot
What was this?
A lot has changed in the fish room here.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go through it.
So first let's address the odd one out. I have a bit of a problem here. He was once in here. I resetted these two tanks, but there was a pleco with ammonia burns. What should I do?
There's not a lot you can do. Just keep it in a healthy enough tank that it's not going to get bacteria.
Okay, got it. It was fine this morning, and then just got an ammonia burn.
Do you know why? Do you know what happened?
I do not know why. It was probably because I don't know.
Now, why do you say it's ammonia burn?
Because there's a red rashes on the fish.
Can you show it to us?
Yeah, sure. But you want me to go through the tanks first?
Let's do that first.
The ammonia?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's take a look, see what it's talking about.
You see it? That's the one.
The one on the bottom.
Yeah, my male. Let me move it.
Well, why do you not have sand in that tank?
I ran out of sand.
You ran out. Okay. It could be that if it is ammonia, it's because it's a bare bottom tank. In other words, not enough biological material to control the ammonia.
Okay.
So I would, get some more sand.
Okay. Because it was in this tank before. But
Have you done a water change in that tank?
This one?
No, the one with the problem.
Yes, I just did.
Okay. That's probably the best thing you can do.
Okay. I'm about to move them back into here.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. Well, a bit of story time. I had a customer come into my fish room today.
Oh, how nice.
And he took one look at my natural tanks and he left.
Really?
He said you should be running CO2 and all that fancy schmancy stuff. And then he said I have microfauna in there and it's not beneficial and stuff like that. And it was he just, I don't know, he was just being plain out rude to me.
Yeah, you know what's interesting about that is the people who want to claim that there are different ways to be able to maintain aquariums really don't believe it.
Right.
Because they're not supportive. They make that kind of comment about what we're doing. So they're not allowing us the right and privilege to do things the way we want to do them.
Yep.
They're saying they're right and we're wrong. And that's what they're doing. Their claim is that we're always doing that, but we never do. I've had the people who say to me, you oppose any other way of keeping fish are the very people who do that. They're the very people who oppose the way we're doing fish. So, when you meet someone like that, I think what you have to say to them is, you do you and I'll do me.
Okay.
I don't appreciate your telling me I can't do what I want to do.
Because clearly the fish are thriving. They're breeding.
That's
Clearly.
right. That's exactly right.
Look at the babies.
And I'll bet they're not in his tanks.
Right?
Look at the babies.
Yeah, you got a bunch of babies.
And that is not an easy fish to get to breed and raise their young.
The Goodeids?
The goody eye. They're not easy.
Well, I've done it.
I know you have.
And then we also got my beautiful mustard male I rescued. He's in here with them.
Oh, he's pretty.
He hasn't been bothering my babies at all, so he's fine to stay. But yes, I will get 1 inch of sand, 2 inches of sand in there. And I'll move them into the sanded ones first, and then I'll get the sand in.
Yeah, I would do that right away.
Okay. Well, you want me to go through the rest?
Sure.
Quick. I got some new fish. Hillstream loaches.
Cool.
Mini stingrays.
You went hot to get them, I know.
Yeah, like, if you can provide me some on your store, I'll buy some more. Because I want to attempt to breed these guys.
Yeah, I will do that. I got a few. I don't have very many.
Well, in here, I got some algae I got from the pet store. I just asked them if I can have this algae, and they said, yeah, sure.
Cool.
So, yeah, look at that one on the rock.
Those
Nice.
are so cool.
And
Yeah.
then, I don't know if you might know this. You're probably going to know what it is. But it is, where is it? It's right there. Oh, one at the back. It's an Api beta.
It's a goby? A beta? Oh, really?
An Api wild beta.
Nice.
Wow.
I got 4 of these. This is what they look in the wild.
That is so cool.
Nice.
Yeah. These are all males, sadly.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
But, when I got my hands on these today, I was like, wow.
That's
These are
exciting.
pretty.
Yeah. There are a lot of species of betta. Splendens is not the only one.
Yeah, these and these 2 empty because I moved the fish down there. And I also have the half beaks in here. The platinum half beaks.
Oh, they're growing.
Yeah, they are.
What are you feeding them?
I feed brine shrimp, bloodworms, flakes, pellets.
Cool.
Sometimes mosquito larvae. If I have.
Looking good.
So
Yeah, they
everything, I got plants in here. I gotta get the plants in these too, but I'm running low on cash because, I don't make too much money because I'm a kid.
I'll get you some plants. We'll get you some plants.
Well, the Brenda plants went in this tank, so thank you so much, Brenda. Really lighten up the mood in the tank.
Right.
Look at these plants I got from Brenda.
Those are beautiful.
Nice.
Thanks, Christian B, by the way.
Right.
Yeah, shout out to Christian B. He was actually the one that gave it to me because I got it. Like, I won the thing, but he got it first. But then, he was not supposed to be playing.
Ah,
Well, yeah, thank you much. Thanks so much, everyone.
looks
Happy
great.
New Year's.
Looking good. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh dear.
Yancey's definitely got some interesting fish.
648. Yes, he sure did. He's gonna. Yeah. Well, he's got a friend who has a store, so he's in a position now to really begin to expand his collection.
Yeah, that he is. Daniel Ingalls asked a question earlier, but we was busy, so I didn't want to break any train of thought. His question is, Father Fish, should I worry should I worry too much about my TDS since I only top off from the tap? It comes from deep limestone reservoirs, but it's not particularly hard. Worried it's too high. To be honest, I don't check my water whatsoever. I'm pretty sure the last time I checked the TDS was between 250 and 300.
Yeah, that's fairly normal, actually.
Good.
Um, for a hard water tank, that's pretty normal. It can get up toward anything over 500. Well, it's not a problem. It's something you need to be aware of because that means it's moving toward a brackish condition. Brackish water is simply water that has a TDS in excess of 750, 800, approaching 1,000. 900 is usually the point of demarcation where it's considered brackish. Most fish do fine in brackish water, so and most plants do too, for that matter. So it's not a major issue. There are some fish that really don't like very hard water. They can tolerate water 253, 400, but they would struggle if it got up to 6, 700. But it becomes obvious what they are. And if that happens, then you simply supplement with RO water or even drinking water has a fairly low TDS. RO water, spring water, filtered water, not filtered. RO, spring, distilled, or rainwater. They're all the same. They all are essentially water with a TDS of 0. Mustafa Sanan is here.
Hey.
Mustafa,
Have a nice years.
thank you. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year. How are you, Father Fish?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Mustafa?
I'm glad to hear that. I'm so fine too.
Wonderful. Where are you from?
I'm from Turkey, and for this reason, my fish looks a little bit sleepy because normally in these hours they are sleeping, but
Yes.
I wake up them for show your.
Well, thank you so much. That's very nice of you.
Uh,
Yeah,
Normally we use East European time zone. In the Turkey, the time is 3 a.m.
3 o'clock.
We are on the night.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, I joined another stream on this channel, and something changed in my aquarium. I would like to show that
Yes.
my plants are growing so fastly, especially micras and my ferns. And also I add a few schooling fish, neon tetras. Their color is not come at the moment because they woke up a few minutes.
Yes.
They they wake up a few minutes ago.
Yes.
For this reason, their color is a little bit pale.
Yes.
Uh,
That's a very nice tank.
Yeah, it is.
Very nice tank.
Thank you so much. I changed my light. Normally, I use bright white lights for aquariums, but I noticed that neon tetras are not. Neon tetras don't like this bright white lamp, and they hiding under the branch and plants. For this reason, I change my aquarium's light color. At the moment, I use yellow light, and they start to swim on the whole aquarium.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. That's quite nice. Quite nice.
Yes, that's all.
So is that an LED or incandescent? What kind of light is that?
Normally, this is not for aquariums. This lamp is a table lamp for study something.
Okay.
But I changed this for when I buy new lamp. I add this lamp for my tetras. Normally, it's not
Yeah.
light for growing underwater plants. That's not normal bulb for study and for working table.
I like it. I like it very much.
Yeah, it looks great.
I think it's that's a very thoughtful thing you've done with the lights.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much.
I like your aquascape too. That's really pretty.
Thank you so much, but I don't make so much thing. I just add the plants and they choose their own locations. For example, I add a lot of fern, but only some ones become growing adult plants. It's a natural way, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, well, I agree. I very much like what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Can you repeat the last sentences?
Yes, I very much like, I enjoy, and I appreciate what you are doing.
Uh,
It's very good.
Thank you. I don't make so much thing. I give some flakes and daphnias for my fish, and it's a low tech aquarium. I don't use carbon dioxide.
Right.
I have got only a filter
Yep.
and light.
Yep. Excellent. Excellent. Very nice. Thank you, Mustafa.
Thank you.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
And thank you for
Goodbye.
coming up. I really appreciate your coming here, staying up half the night to visit with us. Thank you.
It's a glad for me because I love your streams and your videos.
Uh,
I
well,
become so happy to join this stream.
well, thank you. We're nice. Very nice to have you.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye for now. Wow, nice.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay, we had Lloyd Goodyear. Lloyd's trying to get his neons to breathe. So I'm going to tell you a story. Merle Cohen, who was one of my mentors and probably, certainly, one of the major mentors in the entire industry. I met him when I was a young teenager. He had a little shop on Greenmount Avenue in Baltimore called the Aquarium. And I used to go there. It was the most amazing place. He had the old shotgun setup with rows of tanks on both walls and a double row down the middle. And that was it. The counter at the end on the other side of from where the entrance was, at the back of the store was where the counter was. And no dry goods visible. There may have been a shelf with a few things behind the counter, but that was it. If you wanted something, you asked for it, you go in the back and get it. He was doing in 1954 and 55, he was doing freshwater and saltwater, mostly out of Florida. He and his brother went into business together, and early on, his brother moved to Florida to set up a farm and also to get down to the Keys and meet some of the guys, get some people collecting things and shipping them up. So that all got shipped up by truck and by train. This is in the early 50s, early to mid 50s. It was before airplanes were doing much in the way of that kind of shipping. So there would be a truck coming up from Florida once every week or once every 2 weeks. He would bring in large amounts of fish and then began acting as a wholesaler for all of the other shops that were in Baltimore. Now, in 1954 in Baltimore, there were 45 fish stores. In Baltimore City in 1954, there were 45 fish stores. Today, there's one.
Wow.
That's if you don't count the big box stores. So I went into the store regularly. I hung out there. I'd get off school, get on the bus, go down 33rd Street to Greenmount, and then walk a couple of blocks to a store. One winter, I was going out in the boat with my grandfather. He was oystering, honging, collecting oysters in the cold winter weather and bringing them up. He took me out to be his mate and to help clean the oysters. As he brought them in, my job was to knock off all the old shells, to rinse them, and then just put them in a basket. And as I was doing that, I was seeing these little tiny crabs, half an inch long, and I started putting them aside. I put a dozen or two aside, and then that was the weekend. Then that Monday, I brought them home, put them in a tank, a freshwater tank I had. No, it was saltwater. I kept them in saltwater, acclimated them to my tank. And the next day, after school, I don't know how I managed it, but I got him into it. And he looked at him and he was enthralled. He said, "Oh, that's wonderful. How many can you get? How often can you bring?" Well, the following weekend, I was down at my grandfather's collecting these little crabs. He was paying me 10 cents a piece. 10 cents a piece. The first week I collected 200.
Nice.
I took them up to him and I made $20.
Mm-hmm.
In 1954, I made $20
Mm-hmm.
for a couple hours work. That was pretty exciting. I did that winter. I got to know Merle, and then I went away to college. I didn't do it. I only did it one winter. I got a girlfriend, is what happened, and that kind of took up my weekends. So I wasn't doing weekends at my grandparents', which was a long trip. It was like a 2.5 hour trip to get there because they were on the eastern shore of Maryland. And back then, that was, I guess, was the bridge in then? I guess it was. Just used to go there by ferry when I was younger. I think by then there was a bridge, but I wasn't driving, so I had to depend on my parents going, and they were good about doing it. So, but then we had to be back Sunday for church, so we were there for a day and came back. Worked out pretty well that winter, but couldn't do it the following winter. So I never went back to that. Never did it again. Not for many years. Lost touch with Merle. Went away to college. Did a lot of other things. And then wound up back in Baltimore in the 1970s, 20 years later. And 25 years later, in the late 70s, I met Merle again.
Hey, that's
By
good.
the time, he was, I met him because there were people talking about trying to get an aquarium for Baltimore, and I was just fired up about that. So I searched out these folks and got to meet them, and lo and behold, Merle was one of them. It was one of a small group of half a dozen people who were trying to encourage the city council to put up a bond issue to build an aquarium.
Mhm.
So they were able. I think it was at a point where they actually did that. The bond issue was posted, and then we had to get the people in Baltimore
Mhm.
involved in supporting it. So I would go out every single day for months. I went to every club, every social organization, every church, every place I could possibly go where there was a group of people. And I did a presentation about the aquarium. And it passed. Lo and behold, it passed the bond issue. For $2 million, we
Wow.
built an aquarium for $2 million. Today it's worth $500 million. It just
That's amazing.
astounding the way it's expanded. But back to Merle. I was talking with him once, and he was talking about a trip he had made to Thailand. He traveled all over the world, mostly to fish conventions, but he went to Thailand because he wanted to meet farmers and the wholesalers who were shipping fish. By then, he had a very large wholesale business selling tropical fish with a massive 20,000 square foot warehouse that was all built out with pools and concrete pads. It was amazing. It was really astounding. He talked about going to a farm that was breeding neons. And this is the answer to your question, boy. And he wanted to know how they were doing it because they were producing tens of thousands of neons. No one else was doing it. So he went to the farm and he talked to the owner, and they said, well, go back down there. You'll see a big row of tanks and a young boy walking among them. Go talk to him. So he did. And he said to the boy, what are you doing? And he said, well, I have a row of tanks down here that has all the adults in it. And then I've got a row of tanks up top that are empty. And every day in the evening, I go by and I dip out a skinny one and a fat one, and I put them in the tank above. And then I go to the next one, skinny one, fat one, put them in the tank. I do that. There were hundreds of these things, literally hundreds of these little 1-gallon tanks. And then the next morning, I go back and I take the 2 fish out and put them back with the others. And then we wait. And then one day, there are baby fish swimming around. And we feed them in Fosoria. They were raising, this is the tinier than Daphne. They were microfauna, such as paramecium. They were feeding paramecium and green water culture. And that's how they got the babies started. But that's how they were doing it. Now this water was pure, clean water. Nothing in it at all. Absolutely pure water. So there was no bacteria in it. Nothing to contaminate the eggs. It was pristine, pure, new, clean water that it was putting these adults in. No food went in there until the babies had hatched. So the eggs, which are highly susceptible to bacterial infection, bacterial attack, didn't have it because there was no bacteria. There were just the eggs. And what little bacteria might have been there didn't have a chance to grow enough to be able to attack the eggs. So they were playing the numbers, playing their odds. Not every tank would have eggs that hatched, but enough would. And by the time they hatched, the babies were then moved to a bigger vat and grown out and fed. So that's essentially the system. A skinny one and a fat one, and you put them in a brand new bare tank with brand new water in the evening because they spawn early in the morning at sunrise. Cardinals spawn early in the evening at dusk. Or maybe it's the reverse. I don't remember. But it's one of the other. Check it out. You can find it.
Mm-hmm.
And then in about 24 hours, those things hatch. And you see the little babies. Now, you can't feed them. I'm not sure. I'm not going to say more because I haven't done it recently. But we're going to be doing this kind of stuff.
Oh, that's going to be cool.
In our store, trying to get all of these little fish spawning. We have all of the structure in place to be able to do it. We got lots of vats, lots of hubs, lots of tanks, lots of species of fish. So we're going to try to work on this. Right now, I've got 2 pair of wire that are pairing off and I think getting ready to spawn. We just pulled everything else out of their 65-gallon tank today. Scared them silly, but I think they'll be okay.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to have baby water pretty soon. And that's exciting because they're just like discus. You'll see. So we have Wilson Cuevas is here.
Oh, cool. Hey.
Hi, Wilson.
Happy New Year's to all. Happy New Year's to all.
Happy New Year. Look at this.
That is
Look
a beautiful
So this
tank.
is
A work of art.
75.
Right?
A
Wow.
75. A work of art. That is glorious.
I love what you did with your tank. Wow.
I have a little issue. I'm addicted to buying fishes. I think I got a lot.
That's good. That's a good thing. That's beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
Lovely. Where are you from, Wilson?
New York.
Oh, you're in New York. Okay. Well, that's a great place to be addicted to fish because there are a lot of really great stores in New York City and surrounding.
Yeah, your orders get here pretty fast.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I can get an order to you next day, pretty much. Pretty close to it.
And so we're just learning the plants, see how they grow out. I have, like I said, only like 3 months in the hobby, just learning this out.
Wow.
Feel
There
very
you
amazed by
go.
it.
There you go. Deep substrate. 3 months
Oh
in the
yeah, Father Fish. Yes.
3 months in the hobby, and he's got a tank as good as any master aquarist is
Yeah.
able to create. Magnificent.
That it
Proud
is.
of you, Wilson. Proud of you.
Love it. Love it. Well, thank you for everything you guys do. Happy New Year's. Let's
Thank
go
you.
tack
Happy
on
New Year.
2025.
Thank you
Happy
so
New
much
Year.
for coming up. Bye for now.
Bye for now.
Beautiful. I love it.
Me too. It looks great.
I love it.
I only keep him fish 3 months, and he's already got a tank that looks that good.
No, that's something.
That
Really.
is.
There's the story right there. I mean, that's the whole story. That's the entire story in a nutshell, right there. We can take a brand new hobbyist who has never kept fish before and then overnight turn him into a master aquarist.
Right?
Absolutely guaranteed.
Oh, and Lloyd Goodyear had a question for you, Father Fish. Was the neon farmer using distilled water?
No, they were not using distilled water. Now they were using well water,
Oh,
but
gosh.
shallow well water,
Hmm.
which meant it was water that was going through sand, essentially rainwater. So it was very soft and probably acid.
Mm.
Acid would tend to control bacteria. So that would be a major consideration, soft acid water. That means they were keeping their fish in soft acid water as well. Now, obviously, the water the adults were in was harder because they were feeding it, so it was building up more, probably a slightly higher pH. But I would imagine the pH. Merle never talked about that. The pH and hardness of the nursery was probably 6.5 and probably a TDS of under 50, 25 or less. So low TDS, low pH. And that would be not critical, but a major consideration, particularly for fish like neons and cardinals that tend to come out of softer, more acidic water. So being able to maintain that kind of water now, I'm not doing that, and I'm probably not going to do that, at least not initially, because I don't want to create that much of an artificial environment.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do this with water that is typical tap water
Hmm.
that most people are dealing with. If we struggle with it, for example, with the eggs hatching, then we may need to go to softer water. So we'll just see. We'll just see how that goes.
Yeah, I can't wait till you guys get started doing it. It's going to be amazing to see you actually hatching out your own fish in the fish shop.
Lloyd Goodyear has a couple of thousand what?
Not sure.
Snails. Snails.
Oh,
Snails. Ah,
I'll be right back.
all right. John Lee, is there any research on the lamp color type influence on fish? The ebook does lack that information. It's all over the map. There's been more research done with saltwater lighting than freshwater lighting. And that's mainly because of the impact of coral and the fact that deep water changes the spectrum. it's not the case in freshwater. The kinds of fish we get are not affected by spectrum beyond the sun's natural rays. It may be a dimmer, darker area where there's a lot more canopy, but the 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 amount of water that the light has to go through to be able to reach the fish is typically no more than six inches to a foot, if that. It's shallow water. Most of the fish we keep are in relatively shallow water, and they're breeding very many of them in very shallow water, water 2 to 3 inches deep. There are even fish that come right up to the edge in order to spawn. The pygmy sunfish, the yellow soma, will go into water. That's a fish that is a quarter of an inch tall. They'll go into water right at that layer, at that level, a quarter of an inch of water, and nest there, lay their eggs in that. And they're not nesting; they're scattering eggs, but they're doing it in order to protect the eggs from predation. So by getting them way up there, close to the shoreline, it also means when the babies hatch, they're in a pretty safe environment too, where larger fish are not going to go because they have a hard time getting in there. They have to go essentially out of the water to get them. So that is to say that the normal sunlight is the most common experience for freshwater fish. And normal sunlight is best duplicated by white light, or as Carlos described. Was it Carlos? I lost his name already. The fellow from Turkey. Yellow light, amber light. I thought that was remarkable and very interesting. Amber light would be water with tannins in it, for example. Water that's more shaded with canopy. Water that's covered in maybe plants growing on the surface. That kind of thing would tend to change um, the color of the light to maybe yellow or not blue. We don't find blue really in freshwater because that's a much deeper. Water would have to be much deeper for the blue to be filtered out. So it's generally not an issue. And so there hasn't been a lot of work done with it. The lights that are being created for freshwater are grow light, for example, which is a plant growth light. I've not found that they're particularly beneficial one way or the other. I don't think they're really helpful with fish. The red light doesn't seem to me to be, it's not an appealing light. It's not a light that benefits our viewing. I think the white light, with some mixture, you can do that. It's more an aesthetics issue, I think, than really an issue that goes to the biology of the system. We try to replicate sunlight, and it's virtually impossible to do because we can't get that level of intensity, which is why in the new tank, I recommend leaving the lights on for an extended period of time in order to allow those plants to really begin to gear up their photosynthesis. It takes a lot of sunlight pouring into that for photosynthesis to really be able to take hold. It's hard for a plant to do it in dim light. It just takes longer. So there's all that. Interesting question, though. It's part of the reason I really have not focus very much on light because, frankly, personally, I don't believe that it's all that significant an issue in saltwater tanks. Alrighty. What else is going on? Lloyd. 4 clown loaches told I'd see him die in a week. Look, clown loaches, this is interesting. Clown loaches are a very popular fish. They're a relatively expensive fish. You can rarely get them for under $10 retail, and typically more. As they get bigger, they get pricier. They're a fish that does not have scales. They're like an eel in that sense. They have skin covered with a slime, and they're from the Yangtze River, which is a cold water river. So they're not a warm water fish. They are uniquely susceptible to ick. Probably because of the environment they're from, because they're a fish that lives in water that carries ick, and because they have no scales, so that the ick has an easier time of it invading their body. It is almost inevitable when you get clown loaches for them to get ick. And if you don't see it quickly, because they tend to hide, they tend not to be out and about very much, you can miss it long enough for them to become severely infested, in which case they will die because there's no coming back from a severe infestation. The reason is that all of those little parasites are essentially vampires. They're sucking the fluids out of the fish. And if you get enough of them, they'll suck enough fluids out of the fish for the fish to die. And that can happen in 1 week. One single parasite attacking a fish in 24 hours will drop off and produce 140 more, most of which will attach to that same fish if there's nothing preventing that. In a bare tank or gravel tank, a clean tank, infestation will be automatic, it will be rapid, and it will be overwhelming. By day 3, the second generation is attached, drops off. Day 5, 144 times 144. That's a big number. At that rate, on day 5, that fish is covered in ick. It cannot survive that. You can kill that ick, the fish will not survive. So it becomes critical to catch it at an early stage. I find the best way to keep clown loaches when you first get them is to put them in water that is at 85 degrees. Just right out of the gun, put them in warm water. That will slow down the parasite enough for it to have a more difficult time getting hold. Now, if you also are putting them in an aquarium that has a substantial biological load, that is to say, it has a heavy bacterial and fungal and microfungal content, a natural environment with lots of biomass, with major food web. If you have that kind of environment, then the parasite, when it lays those eggs and they hatch, those babies are being attacked by other microfauna. And there won't be that many coming up into the water column. It'll be greatly reduced, which controls the infestation. If you then begin to see a few spots, you can quickly and easily kick that temperature up to 87 degrees, and in 2 days it'll be gone. Now, what you don't want to do at that point is bring it immediately back down. Leave it up there for 4 days, because in 4 days, the parasite will die of starvation. It must have a host within 4 days of hatching, or it dies. So once you have controlled the egg, maintain the temperature for 4 days, and then you can bring it back down to 85 or 82, whatever you prefer. Some people like to keep their fish lower. I don't. It's perfectly healthy. I just don't. I find fish do better at a low 80 degree rather than a high 70 degree. That difference of 4 degrees, for me, it makes a difference. Um, so I promote it because it works for me. But I know plenty of people who keep their fish cooler and never have a problem. It becomes more problematic, I should say, at a lower temperature, and less problematic at a higher temperature. So, and I get it. This winter has been difficult. We have wind whipping into our building because the whole back of the building is essentially open to the weather. It's a metal roof. We have overhead doors. They're not thermal. There's very little that's thermal about the back end of the building. And there's a big door that cuts open, a couple of them, and cold air rushes in. And that can drop the temperature precipitously. It's another reason I like to keep the temperature up higher to fight against that drop. But we've had it 4 or 5 times. Corey is really good at spotting it. I need to have my lens on in order to even see it. I can't see it. I need this to be able to see it. My glasses, I've got them made, new prescription. I don't know
Oh,
if it
good.
really make a big difference, but I need to go pick them up tomorrow. Anyway, um, that's that whole thing about clown loaches. Oh, getting pinched here.
Uh-oh.
Excuse me. Need to walk
Oh, that's
around.
no problem.
Uh, oh, Lord.
Let's see what we got in the chat, guys. Mark63 says, I have a 10-gallon tank with 3 panda coras, and they seem very happy. That's awesome. Let's see what else we got. Oh, I think we got Father Fish back.
I want to show you something.
Yeah. Let me switch this around where we can see it good. See if I can get this switch.
Can you see what's up there in the corner?
Oh, wow. Yes, I can.
There, I'm scaring them away. It's 2 pipe cichlids that are, it looks like a pear. And of course, I got these big severums. This water has become crystal clear.
That's
Just
amazing.
all of a sudden. I'm hoping we're going to get some spawning in here. Yeah, I scared them all just getting that close. We can see them in the back. There's, look at them sticking their heads out. You see
Yep,
his-
I can see his nose.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I've got a pair of them there.
That is awesome.
So that's a fish that's another fish we hope to be spawning is those big cichlids. That'll be fun. Oh dear. see. We can do that. The tank below it is a brackish tank that has native fish in it. Now, I do have one red scat in there. That's not native. But the other fish that are in there are natives. I saw a little tiny fish today and realized it was a stickleback. I've got one little stickleback in there that I caught last summer. There's also a goby, an antenna goby, and a bunch of what are they called? Oh, I can't remember. It's a pupfish related to the desert pupfish.
That's cool.
Yeah, they're really neat little fish. Very prolific in brackish water between Maine and Brownsville, Texas. They probably range all the way down into Mexico.
Oh, wow.
Pretty little fish. I don't know if I can really.
Oh, that'd be cool if you can get a up close of them. That would be cool.
Let's see.
There we go.
They have an iridescence. The males have this iridescence. Now that's a female up top. The ones at the top are females. The ones down below are males. Now the males are just beginning to get into spawning mode. So in another couple of weeks to a month or so, they're gonna chasing the females now. But these males will establish territories. You can see they're already doing it. So one here, one in the middle, and one over there. That's also a female with that male. There's a male.
They've got a beautiful flash whenever they turn to the side. Wow.
When they really get going, there's the goby in the back. No, what is that? Yeah, that's the goby. Can you see it back there?
Yeah, I think I see him.
Right
Toward the bottom at the right.
Fully is not moving. You can't see him if he doesn't move. He's so camouflaged.
That is cool.
Very, very cool little fish. Now, this is a tank that has had absolutely zero maintenance for months. And they haven't even been fed. These fish are algae eaters. So they've been eating, the light's been on, and it's created algae. You see the bottom looks nasty, but it's growing a lot of algae, which is what these fish are feeding on. Where's that goby? He's so hard to see because he's so well camouflaged.
Yeah, I can't spot him.
I can see him. He's not moving around. If we get him moving, you'll see him. He's right behind that clump of green there.
I think I saw him. I saw movement. I see him. Wow, you can't hardly tell where he is.
Right there. Yeah,
he blends in.
Yeah, so he's moving a little. Just one. There's also a little stickleback in here somewhere. I saw him earlier today. So I need to get out and collect some more for this tank. Get some more sticklebacks and more gobies. But these guys are going to spawn in here. What'll happen is the females, when they're egged up, they're getting really close. They will come down, spawn with the male, and then they were essentially egg scattered. But they maintain a territory, and those eggs are scattered in that territory. So he will protect the eggs from predation. Then when the babies hatch, they act like these. They're darting around all the time. These little tiny babies darting around, chasing each other. It's just so cool.
That is.
Full of them. We'll see that in another month or so, probably. We'll see a lot of little babies. So here's a good example of a tank that was essentially abandoned that has that has thrived in spite of its abandonment. The animals in it have thrived. They're egged up, the females are. They're in getting in spawning condition. The male is going to turn a lot darker. He'll get almost black with that
Wow.
blue iridescence and then a red belly or orange belly. Very, very pretty.
Yeah, I can't wait to see them change colors. That's going to be amazing.
That's a female. You see the females have a little bit of color.
So the females are lighter colored and they have more stripes.
There's a pair right there. It's a female. Now that one doesn't have eggs in it. That one does. The male already big spawning. I think there's probably a good chance they won't. We'll have to keep a close eye on it and see if we begin seeing. There's that code moving. See it moving?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if it doesn't move, you lose track of it fast. I mean,
It's so well
it just
camouflaged.
blends in.
If it doesn't move, you don't see it.
That is so cool.
And that's all camouflage. Amazing. The
A
scat,
camouflage fish. I'm going to have to get one.
the scat is not happy in this thing. These guys have got him totally buckled up. I need to get them out of there, but I don't have enough salt tank to put them in. So I'm kind of, I could put them in one of my other tanks, but at this point, he might not make it. So I got to figure out what to do. Anyway, that's that.
That was cool. I've never seen a fish that can hide like that. That is amazing.
Oh! It can get closer, can it? Let's see if we can see the end of the habit while we're doing this. Oh, where he is. All the legs out. Never mind. Can't see him with the legs out.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, TK Tropics wants to know, is your brackish water tank a Wallstead method or a Father Fish method?
Well, I don't really understand the question. Because a Wallstead did not do brackage. She did soil capped with gravel or just soil. I'm not aware that she has done anything else. Now, in her latest edition of her book, she said you can use sand if you want to, but she still prefers gravel. So she is not, she has not adopted any concept of the food web or really of a natural biological system. Her emphasis, along with Tom Barr, with whom she is present on the web, is focused on plants and plant growth, and really not on the impact of that system on fish. So the question, is not one I can interpret. I don't really understand where it's coming from. Let's see, Zany's, what is this? Zany Zoo and Magnificent Menagerie is a YouTube member. And Cecil Mayberry has been a member for a month. Nice to see you guys.
Yeah, it is.
Let's see what else is here. And who's this? 3G. Been a member for 3 months. John Shane is a new member. We've got a huge amount of commentary here, and I'm just not keeping up with it at all. If you will direct any comments that you want me to respond to by putting Father Fish in, just typing in Father Fish, it'll come up emblazoned. It'll pop up in such a way that it'll be obvious that I'll be able to see it.
Yeah, I'm going to show you guys what it does. I just tagged him. You just put the @ symbol and a drop down menu will drop down and then you click on his name. And on his end, it'll be bright colored. Like for me, if somebody types in Psycho Plant Lady, it makes it a bright yellow. So it makes it really easy to find what's going on.
Yeah, and then if I see that, or Dina sees it, we'll know that's a comment that you want us to look at and respond to. Ill-Fated's been watching a bunch of videos.
Oh, that's good.
Are coolie loaches susceptible to ink too? They sure are. Yeah, they are highly susceptible to it. It's another fish that you tend not to see it though because they're hiding all the time, so it becomes less obvious. And they die much more quickly because they can't tolerate the infestation. It's one of the reasons people will have a hard time keeping them. Let's see. So let me explain. The substrate in the brackish tank is sand that I gathered from, I collected from out in the bay in acetate. So it's live sand, if you will. And I think I've got almost 4 inches of live sand in there. I found that in saltwater tanks, soil doesn't work. And if you dig down into a saltwater environment, you don't find soil. You find something else. You find a different biological material that's more a function of the algae that are growing and precipitating, as well as the dead fish and other stuff. You don't have trees blowing leaves into the ocean. In other words, it's not a major contributor to the biology of the system. There may be some shoreline activity, but beyond that, it's non-existent. So anything that's falling into the water or precipitating into the substrate in the ocean is being developed by the ocean, in the ocean. It is more a function of the algae and microfauna and macrofauna, for that matter, and macroalgae that are growing there. So again, it's a very different substrate material, but one that works exactly the same way. It works to maintain the quality of the water column above it. Some research done on coral reefs 20 years ago determined that the health of the substrate is correlated directly to the health of the coral reef above it. If there's a healthy substrate, it's going to be a healthy coral reef. If it's a sick or depleted or poisoned substrate, then the coral reef is going to be affected by that. So it's exactly the same in that sense, the same relationship as exists in freshwater. The contents are different, the principles, the laws, the modus operandi are virtually identical. So by going out into the ocean, into a bay, into a saltwater body, and collecting sand from there, and getting down deep enough to get some of the malmy stuff, some of the more detritus that's in there, then you're bringing all of that biology into the system, and that's really what I've done here. Generally, with saltwater tanks, I like 6 inches of that wild culture. Um, you can. One of the things, if I ever get around to developing this whole thing in a saltwater environment, I'll begin selling the sand, live sand, because it's really critical to making it happen. And you can, just like with the aqua credit, you can take a portion of this live sand and spread it on virgin sand, and um, it will grow into that virgin sand. In other words, it'll turn that into live culture, which is precisely what we do when we put food web material into our tank. The combination of that and what's in the substrate, the soil underneath, are working to create life in that sand bed. So the sand then becomes alive and is able then to be able to, because it then has bacteria in it, is able to then do the the work that the plants need the bacteria to do to create the specific nutrients that the plant needs, and it signals that to the bacteria with certain hormones. Those hormones trigger bacteria to do certain things, to create certain end products, which the plant needs in whatever stage of growth it's involved in. The same thing happens in saltwater, but it's different in that you're dealing with algae. Not so much rooted plants. There are rooted plants, but the rooted plants are in the brackish region. You don't find rooted plants in the ocean. You do find them in brackish water, but they're really out of a freshwater kind of environment that are living in a more brackish, harder water environment. But as you get deeper into that, the plant life becomes there a wider range of forms of algae, so-called macroalgae, which is, I don't have any at all, I think, in this stack. It all died out. So that's something I'll be collecting this spring, and that'll make a big difference. How are we doing time wise? We got
Getting close.
about 5 minutes left here. What else is going on? Anybody who wants me to respond to anything, post it right now with my name, and I'll jump right on it. Nobody else is here. Don't forget to check out the book. This is the source for all of the material, all of the information that you need, the resource you need in order to be able to do the natural aquarium as effectively as it can be done. It's a remarkable piece of work that has more than just extensive research. It's profoundly extensive research. It's greater than anything else that is in print today. I have 3-inch dugout mud covered by an inch river sand. Today, a big shader. Mud is typically not the best substrate in a freshwater tank because I'm talking about the kind of mud that's in the bottom of a pond, because you just can't use very much of it. It is so strong, so powerful that it works its way through the sand and it will permeate and foul the water. And it can happen very quickly. I recommend if you're going to use it, that you mix it with peat moss and even some topsoil. Uh, in a one to a 2 part peat moss, 1 part potting soil, and 1 part mud. 2 to 1 to 1, or even 2 to 1, or even 3 to 1 peat moss to thin it out some. It's very intense, very strong stuff. If you do it in a small jar, you'll notice because it'll foul it. Even if you put 2 inches of sand in like a bell jar and 1 inch of mud, it'll foul it overnight.
Yeah, well,
Very intense stuff. Don't tear your tank down, however. See how it goes. It may work well. Just give it a good shot. This is a highly experimental process, and you're very welcome to experiment with it. We have a system that works that we can guarantee, and if you follow that, you won't have any trouble. But if you want to play around the edges and change the formulas, go for it by all means. We need to learn as much as we can about how these systems really work and what they can handle. Oh, excuse me. Yes, it does make a great gift. Absolutely. Well, let's see. Father Fish have Java ferns with roots and babies growing all over it. What do I do with them? Do they fall off? Java ferns with babies are leaves that are dying. So as they die, they produce more leaves. So just let it go. You don't have to do a thing. The roots are going to protect. They're really not roots. They're really a form of tuber, like an orchid tuber.
that's
They'll attach to hardscape, and they'll continue to grow and continue to thrive. And that plant will get bigger and bigger. So don't do a thing. If it's doing that, it's happy and it's doing well. So congratulations, you're doing wonderfully with it. 2 sets of pink contacts have babies. They do. Should I be concerned about them consistently chasing my fish away? Will the other fish get too stressed? Well, it's a consideration, isn't it? They're very, very aggressive about protecting their babies. What I find with convicts is that they're really hard to keep with any fish that isn't as aggressive or more aggressive because they are so aggressive that they will simply bully everything in the tank. So you might want to consider putting them with fish that are going to get back as good as they get. They're, Thank you, Lloyd. Nice to be here this evening. Great to be with you guys. Let's see. I need to get the music back up. Turn it on. Yeah, why don't you bring it up, Dina? You can do it quicker than I can.
I got you.
Let's see.
Here we go.
Yeah, with pondwood. Oh, that's great.
My little fishy.
It hit autoplay. It did autoplay on me. Sorry.
It's okay. Nice job. Yeah, Canadian beefeater. 2 years now with pondwood. That's exciting. That's great. Now, does everybody have a wrench today? June doesn't, or John. Happy New Year, John.
Canadian beef eater also needs one.
Oh, we do that. Yeah, right there. Got it. Now, if you guys want to keep your wrench, you need to sign up. You need to sign up on either Father Fish or Dina's uh, channel in order to be able to keep that wrench.
Yep, because if not, it's just going to disappear.
Right. I think we got everybody.
Yeah, I think so.
White light 5,000 to 8,000 K. Then Shear says, yeah, I like 6,000. Most everything I do is 6,000 K. Oh, my Acara fry did not survive. The eggs focused. So I'm going to have to move that pair into a different tank. That tank um, has had too much activity in it. It's so I want to get them spawning in another environment. So I will do that. Cowgirl in the heart. Do you still have any pygmy sunfish? No, I don't, and I'm desperate to get some. I really want pygmy sunfish. Everglades, if I can get them, but I'd be happy to take any of the other some. How long will the dirt substrate last? The reason we do the supplement is to increase the longevity of the substrate by putting in minerals that need to chelate, which means they're going to be in there for upwards of 4 years plus. It takes that long for the full cycle to develop in a tank in which everything is feeding everything else. So all of the minerals are completely cycling through the plant, back through through the animals, through the bacteria and fungus, back to the plants. In order for that complete cycle to occur, you need to have enough nutrients in there to keep everything going for 4 to 5 years. With the supplement, you do that. Otherwise, the supplement is going to last. Walstead found without capping it, it lasts about a year. By capping it, it'll last 2 years plus. It could almost be long enough, probably, particularly with precipitants coming in. But by putting the supplement in, you lock it in and guarantee it. It just kind of nails it to the wall and provides the diversity of mineralization that is required to be able to maintain a broad spectrum of life in the aquarium. It's a great question. Thank you for that. Are we there?
Yeah, I think so.
Siamese algae eater has a bloated stomach. I would take him out and put him in a tank. If he's still eating, try some crushed garlic. Garlic can sometimes help. It sometimes is simply a blockage that can be an intestinal blockage that can be cleared. I had that happen to a female betta just this week, where she was bloated. I took her out of the tank she was in, put her in a vat, slightly cooler water, a completely different environment. In 24 hours, she was fine. She would have died in the other tank. She was that badly bloated. So sometimes you can catch it and cure it. I think it's a good idea to remove any fish that's bloated. It doesn't always result in an infestation. It's more a gut bacteria problem. It could also be something else. I mean, it could also be something having to do with an infection in the body. So you never really know. Even on necropsy, it's hard to figure that out. But separate them out, put them in a better environment, and see if that helps. Once you cap the substrate, how often do you need to fertilize? Never. You never need to fertilize it. John, good question, John. All right, we're down to it. Thank you, guys. Wonderful to be with you. Happy New Year to everybody.
Happy New Year.
We're going to have an amazing New Year. It's going to be unbelievable. It's going to be astounding. It's going to be utterly magnificent, and we're all going to do it together. I'm going to make you successful. You're going to make me successful. We're going to all be flying up, doing wonderful things. God bless you. Dina, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Hi, Brenda. Brenda's back in the other room. Hang
Oh,
it out.
cool.
Okay. Love you all.
Love you guys.
About their home. I love my little fishies as they swim about their home. When the sunlight shines upon them and their colors begin to glow, I am drawn into a world where my heart longs to go. I imagine scenes of beauty and feel the warmth of love. I love my little fishes as they swim about their home. I have traveled the world over, but never found a peace that comes from watching my fishies as they swim about their home. My heart is happy and I am content to sit and watch them swim. I will not be alone while these fishies are in my home. When the sunlight shines upon them and their colors begin to glow, I am drawn into a world where my heart longs to go. I imagine scenes of beauty and feel the warmth of love. I love my little fishes as they swim about their home.
Love you all.
You guys.
Bye.
Bye.